It's not rocket science to work out the problem with Australia's football codes. Young men, famous and idolised, earning huge dollars, and too many of them sucked into grog and gambling. In Brendan Fevola's case, he gambled away not only his fortune, but his marriage.
Tell me, when did the gambling start?
I was gambling from when I was 17, but very little, like on the horses and stuff. Obviously, I gambled at Carlton, but not to the extent when I got to Brisbane. Over the pre-season, I was having a real crack at the gambling.
On what?
Horses.
Did you win?
I won occasionally, but once I won it, I lost it anyway.
I believe there was one day that you started with $1,000 and finished up with lots and then lost it. Tell me about that day.
Yeah, I started with not much money, and I think I won about $365,000 in a day, and then the next day I lost it.
Let's say you've earned something like $5 million through your football activities.
About 20.
How much do you think's gone on gambling? 20.5
million. Nah, mate, I would have lost probably close to maybe $1 million.
The reason he got himself into so much trouble is because there was people everywhere saying, "Here, Brendan, here's $50,000 credit," with no understanding of what they were doing to us as a family. And I didn't know. It was all kept from me, kept very quiet from me, until we literally had no money.
How did you find out?
Well, I went to the bank and there was no money. So...
Where's it gone?
It had been paid. It had been all paid out to bookies and debts.
What did Alex say about the gambling?
Well, the gambling, when you're a gambler, it's obviously a pretty bad addiction to have. You don't really tell her too much about it.
Brendan was just so good at, keeping a lid on things, and he had excuses for this and excuses for that. But it gets to a point where, there is so many issues in a marriage. It's not just the gambling or just drinking or just cheating or, it was just the whole thing. I just was at the end of the road, and I couldn't see how I could possibly trust him again. And
then I got myself balls deep, and then she found out, and she said, if you don't stop gambling, I'm going to leave and go back to Melbourne. I stopped for a little bit, and then I got back on it, and then she left.
The marriage was over. Last April, Alex returned to Melbourne with their daughters. After finishing the season with Brisbane, Brendan headed south to stay with his mother and spend Christmas with his children and estranged wife. By now, he'd been diagnosed with ADD and was on powerful medication. But while caring for his youngest daughter, there was an incident that caused Alex to take the children away from him.
Alex said, let's watch Lulu for a bit, and I took the tablets that night, and she went and put a bottle on, and I fell back to sleep, and Lulu fell off the bed. And then Alex went off, and so I just grabbed my bags and walked down to the bus stop, caught a bus, caught a train, went home and drank a few bottles of wine, and that was my worst moment. That was when it happened.
What happened?
Just started slashing at my wrists.
With what?
With a knife.
And
I had a butter knife to start off with, and that didn't work because I didn't know what I was doing. And then I grabbed a sharper one, and then I rang Dean Warren, who was the new footy manager at the footy club. And I think I was crying. I don't cry too often. And said, mate, I'm in trouble. I need some help. And then they booked me in on the Tuesday, on the 2nd of Jan, to go to rehab just for a week or so, and ended up staying there for 70 days. So that was rock bottom.
It seems such a pity to have all that talent and to live such a cliche. I mean, it's a bad movie, isn't it?
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
Let it all go, to let you go, to let the children go, to drift away and not be able to stop it.
Yeah, it's It's a huge waste of talent and of a good person. It's just very sad that he's had to go down this road.
Could you ever get back with Alex?
Could I get back with Alex?
Yeah.
I think I've hurt her too much. It's not Alex's fault. She gave me a lot of chances. She was great, and I would have got rid of me a long time before that. But when she left and I was there without the kids, everything went downhill from there.
That must be bloody hard, not seeing your daughters.
It's killing me, mate.
How long since you've seen it?
I've seen him twice this year.
That's too long. That's too little.
Especially when you've got a 1-year-old.
Mm.
Mate, it breaks my heart, mate.
If he does not make it next year into the AFL, what skills does he have to fall back upon?
Has people skills? Nothing, which is sad and scary.
Where do you think he'll likely be 5 or 10 years from now?
I have no idea. And that's what scares me the most as well.
Why?
Because he's always had football. He's had football for the last 24 years.
There is depression where people have clinical depression where for no good reason they feel down, and there's other depression where you got something bad's happening. Which one would you have?
Look, it's really hard to say because I didn't know I had it, but I think it comes down to bottling everything up and keeping everything inside, and then you'd feel down on yourself. But I'd go to the footy club and be happy as Larry, and everyone would think, oh, yeah, Fev's up and about, blah, blah, blah. And then I'd get home and I'd sit on the couch and I'd be flat. But no one could see. I'd go to my room and I'd be flat, and no one would see that. And probably the only person that really would know that would be Alex. And she knew, and she's like, talk to me, you know. But I found it hard to express myself because I don't know whether it was embarrassment or I didn't want anyone to know what I was thinking. If I had done that, I mightn't have been in the situation I am now.
And that's it, mate. You're a Casey Scorpion. Well done. Congratulations.
At 30, Brendan Fevola is starting over. Sacked by Carlton, sacked by Brisbane. Last month, one of the Code's greatest forwards signed with the lowly Casey Scorpions.
Fev's actually officially signed now with the footy club, so make him feel welcome, which is really good.
They train 2 nights a week.
Right, boys, this is it, okay? Let's make a contest early. Hit him hard, hit a body, take it on. Let's get it off to the
From playing in front of 90,000 fans, he now turns out in front of just a few hundred. He still hopes, though, of being drafted back into the AFL. You say Brendan's always had someone there.
Yes.
In 2011, the long-time coaches are no longer there, the long-time teammates are no longer there,
Yep.
You're no longer there,
Yep.
The managers are all gone.
Yep.
Who's there?
No one. And this is what concerns me also. When I met Brendan, he didn't even know what a tax return was. He didn't pay bills. He had no idea about the simplest tasks that we all manage to do as adults. Now that he hasn't got that manager and he hasn't got me, he has to do all this on his own, and I really think he'll struggle to cope because he just doesn't know how to live like a normal, independent adult.
Where will you be this time next year, 2012, April 2012?
My chance at the moment is 0 of getting drafted. Everyone knows I can play footy, everyone knows I can kick goals. It's what I do off the field. He's going to maybe get me drafted.
So what do you intend to do off the field?
Obviously don't drink anymore. So, I've got a few things, I've a few business things I've been putting myself into, doing a lot of charity work. And these are kids that are unfortunately got, something's happened in their life or they're in hospital, and, I just want to bring a smile to their face.
They were dealt 2 of clubs, 3 of spades, low pair of diamonds, 4s. You were dealt 4 aces.
Yeah. and I blew it. But
Can you come back?
you never say never.
Despite his fall from grace, Fevola's star still glimmers. When Carlton played Collingwood recently, it was the bloke in the stands who everyone wanted to see. He claims he's a reformed man. How long since the last drink?
New Year's Eve.
Really? How long since the last punt?
Oh, over a year.
I saw you on the news the other day coming out of the casino, being kicked out of Crown Casino.
Yeah, that's playing poker. It's not punting, it's a game.
Where do you think Brendan may be in 5 or 10
Brendan.
years?
Look, I really don't know. I would like to think he's still working in football, and football's his passion and it's what he's extremely good at. But most of all, I just hope he's happy. I hope he gets over all of this, and I hope he can put it behind him and live a happy and peaceful life.
So where to from here? Which bridges are you going to burn in front of you?
Hopefully none. Hopefully I can build them.
Good. Good luck.
Thanks, mate. I need it. Thanks.